Collapsed septums, teeth falling off after a month, a dental implant found inside someone's brain, holes drilled into healthy teeth, left rotting underneath veneers, people losing every single one of their natural teeth, and bills reaching £18,000 just to fix the damage. This is what happens when dental tourism goes wrong, and it's happening more than you think. Today, we are reacting to real people sharing their real experiences getting dental work done in Turkey. Some of these stories are shocking, some are heartbreaking. All of them are worth watching before you even consider booking that flight. Let's get into it.
A woman who got botched dental work in Turkey is now unable to breathe out of her nose and has a collapsed septum.
I got my teeth done. They're a little big, but they'll take getting used to. Oh guys, I'm so stressed. I went to the dentist to get impressions for these teeth and that teeth there that have temporaries on, and the dentist has turned back around and said, do you know you have more cracks? I've got cracks all along there in my teeth, but obviously I can't just get one fixed because they're all joined together, and I've got cracks down there and I can't get them done because they're all together. So I've said the only way to do it is get them all redone, so I'm having to pay to get them all redone again, which is a lot of money. So guys, before you make that decision to go to Turkey, yeah, unless you've got loads of money in the bank, don't do it.
If you needed a reason not to go to Turkey to get your teeth done, this might be it. This is a dental implant in a patient's brain. He doesn't look very well either, does he? If you need any dental work doing, do not go abroad to get this kind of treatment done. You don't know who to trust.
It has been almost a year to the day of me having my dental work done in Turkey. Spoiler alert, one of the worst things I've ever done. Excluding this front tooth here, I had all of these teeth here. These all fell out. All of my food I have to cut up or like make really small, put it in the back of my mouth here and chew on it that way, because that's the only way I can eat. Also, I'm having severe gum swelling and gum problems from the way they've stuck them in. I spoke to so many people who've gone there who I thought I could trust, who it turns out allegedly are being paid by the clinic to give good reviews. Somebody died at the clinic due to allegedly their medical negligence.
One of the most devastating parts of this whole situation is I actually had a girl message me on Facebook before she went to go and get her teeth done, and I didn't reply because at that time I was still in the process with our dentist abroad, going back and forth, and they told me to obviously remove my review, and I thought, well, I don't want to like talk shit about them and then not redo my teeth or fuck them up or something, so I never replied. And then yeah, this poor girl, I reached out to her a little while back, and she went and got her teeth done, and they've absolutely butchered her. Like, she's got metal bits sticking out of her mouth still. They removed teeth when they weren't supposed to. Yeah, I've had so many people contact me since saying they've also had awful experiences with them, and I just feel so bad, because even when I'm walking around the streets, right, I think people are looking at my teeth and thinking, oh, they look really good, or some aren't, but yeah, the ones that are think they look really good, and I'm scared because I don't want to be like advertising Turkey teeth or influencing people to go and get their teeth done, because like I've said in previous videos, I've had so many problems since I've got them done, and it's the biggest regret of my life.
So I've had an interesting morning being threatened by a dental clinic in Turkey for legal action against me if I share my experience about having dental crowns replaced in their clinic. Now, I am only wanting to talk about the experience I've had, and let me tell you, it has been nothing short of a nightmare, and it has affected my life greatly. However, they are saying if I defame the clinic in any way, if I speak out, they're going to come for me with legal action. So I was just getting a kind of sense of what people have done in regards to sharing their story, and just because I want to be transparent that people really do their research and really think hard about where they go and what the aftercare is.
You have no interest in going to Turkey to get your teeth done, you don't want to hear about how I got scammed, just skip this. But I had to do a story time because it's so crazy and ridiculous that I just needed to share with people. Essentially, me and my partner got scammed by a clinic in Turkey. Did not even get what we wanted. So this clinic is called Mono Clinic in Izmir, and they DM'd me on Instagram and they were like, hey, would you like to do teeth? Like, we've worked with so many influencers before, we do such a great job, look at our reviews. I've had Invisalign in the past, I just wanted to enhance what I already have, and like, even out my bottom teeth with maybe some bonding. I asked them if they could do bonding. They were like, yeah, your teeth are perfect for bonding. They said that they'd sent pictures of my teeth to the dentist, which they obviously didn't. I got there and the dentist was like, your teeth are not suitable for bonding. I'd spend £200 on flights. I'd spend £100 deposit. And they basically told me I wasn't getting my deposit back. They were like, no, you're not getting your deposit back. Just get Botox, just get under eye filler. Then for my partner, now he wanted to get veneers on the top. Crowns are really quite invasive. There's the like turkey teeth stools that you see when people like have the little pins or whatever. And he wanted to avoid that on his top teeth. So again, he sent pictures of his teeth to the dentist and they were like, yeah, great. Dentist agreed he's going to do veneers. My partner got there, they shaved down his teeth and then they said, we don't even do veneers at this clinic. So you're getting crowns. And he literally had no choice. His teeth were already shaved. And then they said, oh, and you're going to have to pay £200 for a root canal. Even though they said all treatments, root canals, etc., were all included in the cost. What is worse is after they scammed me, they were harassing me on WhatsApp. You need to post about the clinic. You need to promote our services. I was like, no, hon, you've literally scammed me and my partner. You've shaved his teeth down and now you're telling him he can't get anything other than crowns. Like, you've already messed up his teeth. Then literally everyone in the clinic is complaining. Like, people getting liposuction, people getting all different types of treatments. They're all complaining, saying that they're being scammed out of money, saying that the clinic told them they could do one thing and then they got there and it was another story. I'm literally thinking, how are these reviews so good? Because if you go on their TripAdvisor, like, how are these reviews so good? Then I found out that when they call influencers to go there, they make you sign this contract. I hadn't signed it because I was like, I need to go and see what I'm dealing with. It says in the contract that if you talk about them and you give them a bad review, they will charge you and sue you. I've already been scammed and I didn't sign the contract. So stay away from Monoclinic in Izmir. I don't know about other places. Do your research, guys, and maybe ask people who've actually been there before. Don't rely on the reviews because they delete the bad ones. And yeah, you get there and it's like hell on earth.
So straight off the gate, these anti-real stories dug up from the internet. These are people who went in excited, came back broken, and are now paying more to fix the damage than they ever spent getting it done. The recurring theme: everything looks fine at first, then reality kicks in. What stands out here is how deliberate some of this feels. Patients being told one treatment is available, only to arrive and find out it isn't, after deposits are paid, after flights are booked, after teeth are already shaved down, and then contracts designed to silence anyone who speaks out. This isn't just bad dentistry. In some cases, it looks like a scam. Teeth falling off within weeks, exposed nerves, bacteria sealed underneath veneers with nowhere to go. These aren't minor inconveniences. These are situations that can permanently destroy the natural teeth underneath, the ones that don't grow back. And a lot of these people had perfectly healthy teeth when they started. What starts as a one-time trip turns into years-long battle, physically, financially, and emotionally. And for some of these people, it is still not over. A dentist saying she's never seen a worse job, another noting that 23 people from Ireland and the UK have reportedly died as a result of dental tourism complications, and a professional breaking down exactly what red flags to look for before you ever sit in that chair. Let's watch a few more.
Guys, I need to talk about this. So I went to Dr. Sankar in Mersin for veneers. I already had veneers on, so when I did my first appointment, they took off my actual veneers that I had on already and got put like shaved them down, and I had that for like a week. And then when I went to my initial appointment, it was so late, but my initial appointment was the veneers. It was painful. When I had my veneers last time, it was not painful, but this time, I mean, like, I had tears coming out my eyes. It was that painful because they were whitening. The reason why I get veneers is because I can't whiten my teeth, because my teeth are so sensitive, they can't even handle whitening. So when I was getting these whitened, I was like, I can't deal with the whitening. This is too painful. Like, it is, my teeth, my mouth cannot handle it. The pain was literally, I will not forget that pain. So anyway, I went back to Perth from Turkey, and all my teeth started popping off, like all the bottom, and then 2 from the top. So I got the 2 at the bottom. I was just like, whatever, like, I can deal without that. Don't need the bottom done anyway. but the top, I was like, that needs to go. That needs to be put back on. So I got that put back on. That was like 300 per tooth. Annoying. I was like, are you kidding? I just got these put on and I'm gonna have to get them all freaking pay them to get back on because they keep popping off. Anyway, so time goes by. It was like a month and I was in agony since having them, and I was like, this is not normal. I shouldn't be in this much pain. Like, my teeth were consistently, I was taking Panadol, I was taking Nurofen, I was taking everything you can do, and then I started getting gum disease. So I started getting really bad gum disease. I feel like I've cleared it up a lot, but also this teeth is not the teeth from Turkey, so I'll attach my teeth from Turkey that totally are different. Anyway, I was in so much pain. Even breathing was painful. Like, I mean painful. Like, I would, when I go to sleep at night, I would be in so much pain. I would like have to close my mouth because I was like, oh my god. Anyway, went to a dentist. They said that you have nerves exposed. It looks like bacteria build up behind the veneer. We need them, take them off. Like, it is an issue. So got them removed, and it turns out I had actual holes in this tooth. So, well, no, yeah, this tooth and this tooth. So my two front teeth, which is also probably why it was so painful. So I had holes, I had bacteria build up. They said it looked like they didn't even like clean it behind the veneer because it was so built up with the bacteria that, you know, I would have lost my tooth. And I didn't really know about teeth before, but if you lose a tooth or, like, you know, you break a tooth or anything, they don't grow back. Sounds so stupid, but literally I just didn't realize that teeth are the only bone that doesn't grow back. So you gotta look after them, guys. And yeah, so major build up, major build up, and a veneer on there that was holding that build up in. So yeah, if you're going to Turkey to get your teeth done, you might not have what I had. Like, that is just by chance, and that's literally on me. I just thought, oh, I might as well get my teeth done. Like, I see so many people have such good results, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna have good results. I'm so excited. And it wasn't that cheap either. So I would, if I could go back in time, I would just get my teeth done in Gold Coast. So I'm getting my teeth done now at Teeth on Ferry in the Gold Coast. I got recommended by so many people at the pop-up because I was like, I want to go somewhere that's actually reputable and that is going to help me. So I would ask people, you know, random people all the time, like, where did you get your teeth done? Where did you get your teeth done? Everyone said Teeth on Ferry in the Gold Coast. So I was like, okay, that's where I'm going. Also, I said to the dentist, he needs to give me a refund because, oh god, I'm the worst at putting lipstick on. Needs to give me a refund because they didn't even last. And he's also refusing a refund, and he literally won't take any responsibility for anything. So, but lesson learned. I hope my teeth now are going to be in good hands and they're going to be good from now on. Be careful when going to Turkey.
Right, the day has come. It's story time on my teeth, what happened and why it was an absolute horror story and a shambles. Buckle in, because you're gonna have to brace yourself for this one, guys. So I had my teeth done over here originally, and I had composite bonding, and I had to have my teeth all straightened, all whitened. I've had perfectly healthy teeth. I had the bonding. Personally, for me, it's great. It is really good. It's a better alternative if you're scared of getting like veneers or anything like that. I found that after like 2 years they stained quite a bit, I do love my coffee though, and I do love my red wines. That's probably why. So I decided I'm going to get Emax veneers. So at Emax veneers, they're not supposed to be as abrasive as a crown and veneer. I don't know. They don't completely shave your teeth down anyway, so it's not as abrasive. So I messaged a dental company in Turkey. One of my friends went to them and had a really good experience, but she didn't have Emax veneers, to be fair. And I said, I'll come over, but you're not going to shave my teeth down, are you? Because I have perfectly healthy teeth. And they was like, no, we won't be doing anything like that. So I was like, fantastic, like, I'm going to go. Anyway, so I fly over. The company from start to finish are absolute shambles. They asked me to bring over alcohol for them, which I should have known was a red flag. I don't even know what was going through my head at this point. So anyway, I get there. They ask for the cash up front. I give it them. Anyway, the next day, I go in and have my teeth done. So I'm sat in the chair and I was laying there and they were drilling my teeth, and I was in there for 3 hours, and I thought, 3 hours? Surely not. What they're doing to my teeth, that takes 3 hours. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I know preparation's like key and they've got to get it spot on, so I was just kind of being a bit naive and just letting them do the thing. Anyway, 3 hours passes by. I sit up and there's a big mirror at the side of me, and I look in the mirror. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? My teeth were like shark teeth. They were literally like shark teeth. I burst into tears. I was like, you've said to me you wasn't going to shave my teeth down. It's only a minimal amount for Emax veneers. My teeth have nearly gone. Like, what the hell?
I finally got to a point where I feel like I need to talk about my situation with my teeth and my experience with our dentist abroad in Turkey. Oh, okay, firstly, I have BPD. Also have ADHD, and also have anxiety. I'd like to say that one of the biggest problems I have is looking at myself in a negative image, not seeing myself in the way that other people see me, right? So, looking back now, I look at my teeth and I'm like, it's one of the biggest, in fact the biggest regrets of my life to have ever got my teeth done, because I look at my teeth and I'm like, they were fine, you didn't even need to get them done. And like now, like, they look fine. I've got so many problems, and I'm probably going to lose my actual teeth that are underneath, but they look great. That's all that matters. They look great. That's all that matters. So yeah, when I first went, I've been thinking about it for months, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, and then I had the opportunity to. My friend had already booked in, and she said to me, do you want to come? She said she knew somebody who'd been to the clinic previously, so I thought, okay, looked on Google, looked at their reviews, all of them were 5-star reviews, so it made me feel comfortable. I was nervous, like, I'd looked into it, I'd considered composite bondings, I'd considered veneers, and I still decided to go with crowns. Purely based on the fact that crowns were supposed to be more durable, crowns were supposed to last longer, and, like, yeah, okay, maybe from the perspective of, because they fit round your whole tooth, they're more durable than a veneer, which is just a little cap that sits on the front. But they have to shave more of your tooth off, obviously. So yeah, when I first had them done, nothing was stated about how the crowns came. So my opinion was, obviously, full mouth of crowns means you're getting full mouth of individual crowns, right? No, that wasn't the case. So I had my teeth shaved. They gave me the temporary teeth, which were awful, by the way. If I can upload pictures, I will. And then, yeah, when it came to them actually fitting the permanent teeth, I looked at them and I was like, they're the ones that are actually going in my mouth. She said, yeah. I said, but they're in groups. They're in groups of 6. So all of mine, you can see, they were in groups. Front 6 sides, front 6 sides, like blocks. I think it was 6, 4, 4. And it was crazy. I was like, wow. But at this point, I'm sat in the chair. I've had my teeth shaved already, which I was shaking like a leaf the whole time while they were doing. Yeah, so I went home,
fine. I think it was a couple months after I started to get what I felt like was a gap between the canine on that set of 6 and then the tooth next to it on the set next to it. But I think it was this side actually that it started with. And then it felt like in between where the teeth are together, but obviously they're not separate, they're all together, the gums in between, it felt like food was getting caught in there. It still feels like this. So at the time, I think they replaced the front 6. Yeah, they replaced my front 6. Went home, came back home again, and I was still getting the same problems. Like I was still getting the same. It was like a gap around the top of the tooth, and they just kept saying it was gum recession. Your gums are receding, your gums are receding. I said, okay, that's fine, but how am I fixing that? How am I going to stop my gums receding? Because I do everything I'm supposed to do. I floss my teeth, I use a water pick, I use a soft toothbrush, you know, I use mouthwash. I don't eat certain foods because I feel like it gets stuck in my teeth. I don't know what more I'm supposed to do. I've stopped vaping, I've stopped smoking. Like, what more can I do? So after the first time that they replaced the front ones, I was still getting problems, so I had to go back again. And then they got to the point where they were like, well, you know, there's no problems, there's no chips or crowns in the teeth, so if you're going to need, if you're going to come back again, you need to pay for the work. So I was like, I'm not paying for the work, there's a problem with what you've done, I shouldn't be having these problems. So I posted a review on Trustpilot for them, and then I had somebody reach out to me and basically say, if you remove the review, we'll see you again, we'll fix the problem. And at that point I thought, if you remove the review, you'll fix the problem. That's weird in the first point, because like, why are you saying remove the review? Like, you shouldn't be hiding the fact that I've got problems, you should be addressing it publicly to show that you're solving the problem. But yeah, they didn't. They said about removing the review. So anyways, I changed the review and went back out there, and I think they've done it again. But I was getting the same problem, but on the other side of my mouth. So it was exactly the same with the canine and the tooth next to it. There's like a gap, and then when I eat certain foods, it gets caught up the top of it. I was still getting that problem. So yeah, I joined a Facebook group about dentists in Turkey, and a couple of people on there had asked about our dentist abroad, and I commented with my experience on there saying, you know, I haven't had a great experience, explained some of the problems that I'd had, and said, you know, make your decision, you know, just do your research properly, because I'm not saying everyone's going to have the same problems that I've got, but I've had these problems and people should be aware of that so they can make an informed decision. You know, it's not fair that we keep people in the dark with things like this. I had to threaten legal. Oh yeah. I threatened legal on them, and I had to threaten legal on them because they refused to do anything else, and I was annoyed that, yeah. So basically, since the first time that I got my teeth done, within that first year, I'd ended up having to travel back and forth 4 times to get like replacement things done, because what was happening is I was getting really bad taste in my mouth, food's getting stuck, like to the point that I can't get it out, right? It's causing me problems, it's starting to smell, it's not nice, like I'm not leaving that in my mouth, and I'm scared that food's going to get underneath the crown into the tooth and then rot inside the tooth, and then I'm going to lose these teeth. Aside from that, where they've done the root canals, I had to have 2 root canals on my bottom canines, and they're going like black, and they said to me to fix that they need to drill into the back of the tooth and bleach it, but obviously the tooth is dead underneath now because they've done a root canal. So I'm not a dentist, I don't really know what that means for the tooth underneath. Is that just going to fall off one day? Is it going to sit in there? Is it like, you know, I need to speak to somebody and get some advice really. But I was recently talking to them after my most recent visit back, where they replaced the sets of 6 and I've got sets of 2 now, so it's 2, 2, 2, 1 all the way around, but unfortunately I'm still having the same problems. I've still got the gaps between the canine and the tooth next to it, and in fact further down along this whole side of my mouth I've still got gaps. And the difficult thing is, like, they may be right. It may be gum recession. It probably is. But I never had it before. And since having the crowns fitted, I've got countless problems. So I felt like I'd done my research. I'd spent a long time looking into... I wasn't sure if I wanted to get my teeth done. I'd looked before. Like, yes, okay, maybe at that point it was an impulsive decision, but I spent time looking into it. I was researching the process. I'd watched videos. I'd looked at other people's experiences. And I just feel like there wasn't enough stuff out there. There wasn't enough people talking about their true experiences with getting crowns done. You know, I don't know if other people have had the same problems as me. I feel like some have. Some people have had great experiences, so please don't get me wrong. But, you know, my teeth really weren't that bad before, so I made a stupid decision to get mine done. And it's ruined my entire life now, because if I don't get this problem that I'm having sorted, I'm going to lose the rest of what teeth I have underneath, and I'm going to have implants, and who knows if that's going to work. And then I could potentially have months where I have no teeth at all, because there was a guy in the dentist that was in that situation. His implants failed and he couldn't even have teeth for that period of time. Or I'm going to have dentures. So I'm terrified of what's going to happen now. I've got to try and save the money to get it sorted and have a consultation with somebody that actually knows what they're talking about, and can actually tell me how to stop whatever's going on happening. But yeah, getting crowns was the worst decision I've made in my entire life. So yeah, that's my experience with our dentist abroad and my experience with getting crowns in Turkey.
I thought I would do a video about Turkish dentists. One in particular called Dentafly, that I went out to, and I saw them. I went back 7 times. I went through hell. I had abscesses. I was attacked. I was threatened by one of the members of staff for putting a complaint in. So can I just recommend anybody that's just thinking of having their teeth done in Turkey, stay away from Dentafly. If you look on Facebook, they've got a page and it's Dentafly, and that's exactly what they do. They lie. They'll bring you out there. They will set you up in a hotel. The hotel's run by Matthew. I just thought I'd let you know that. So don't stay at that particular hotel that they offer, and just don't use them. If you're going to go to a dentist in Antalya, I would recommend medical dental, or luxury dental. The rest of them, Smile Dental's quite good apparently, but the rest of them, especially Dentafly, stay away. The owner is called Dr. Sona, and he is so handsome and so manipulative and so charming, he will reel you in and spit you back out, literally. Like I said, I went back 7 times. I went back in total. The last time, I've already put a video on there, I was attacked in the hotel. I do believe that was a setup from Dentafly, because I just do. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. I'm talking about teeth right now. I lost all my top teeth. I've got hardly any top teeth left due to abscesses and them having to knock old crowns off and replace them continuously for 7 times. The last time I went was hell, and they've literally knocked all the crowns off again due to them not being good, etc, etc. I've got an implant here on the bottom that's not even screwed into the implant. I've seen other dentists in Turkey and had obviously an x-ray, and they've looked at what damage they've done, and they can't believe the mess that they've made. I can't actually show you. I'll try and show you by doing this. I don't know if you can see that. That's what they look like, and they don't look too bad, but trust me, they're bad. Underneath here, there is no implants or nothing, which is what they was originally supposed to do. Instead, they put the implants on the bottom and then tried to skank me into paying another load of money of having them done on the top as well. So I literally have lost £5,500. I've got no implants on top. What they decided to do after destroying all my natural teeth is this is here, there, and there is 3 bridges, and all it's stuck onto is my existing teeth that I've got left, and I've got very few. At the back of here, I've got a gap of about that big where I can actually put my tongue inside. Listen, I'm not going to keep going on, guys, but what I would say is stay away from Dentistry. They bought their followers. They've got dodgy people working there. All they want is your money, and this is sound advice. The owner has got 200 open cases against him in another part of Turkey, which is Izmir. He ran from Izmir, opened a clinic up in Antalya, and he's got people all over Izmir and England and UK and America trying to take this guy to court, but he buys himself out of it. And the law out there is they're crap. I mean, in Turkey, you go to the police are criminals, or they're involved with the mafia, or they're involved with people that they know. They look after their own out there. So if you're going to have your teeth done in Turkey, do some serious research. I recommend, should I say, luxury dental and medical dental. Apart from that, be careful. And I hope you guys listen and take this seriously, because I had somebody walk into my hotel. This was prior to getting attacked the last time. This is the time before that. They sent a guy in and threatened to kick me out the hotel because I put a complaint in about them. Don't use them. They're mafia involved and they're corrupt, okay? Do your research, guys. I would never wish it upon anybody to lose £5,500 and go through what I've been through. So listen to what I've got to say.
In shock. I had no idea that's what was going to happen from people I had spoken to at home. I was showing these teeth. It was like the way like a mannequin, like a skull head, but it was a mouth, and I had these little rows of teeth. I thought perhaps were they my temps, because I hadn't been given any temporary teeth. They were dropped on the floor, and I laughed because I thought there were these false little teeth just to show me the shape and the colour that I was going for.
Honestly, it was really light. I can't even move my face, and so sore.
It wasn't until the final fitting on the Friday that I became aware that I wasn't in fact getting my individual teeth. The dentist was on his phone, he was touching things, it was cross-contamination, and before I knew it, the teeth had been glued into my mouth, and they never cleaned my pegs, they never numbed me up. I was like, where's my teeth? And they were like, yeah, this is gorgeous, it's gorgeous. Where are my individual teeth? As soon as I get home, I went to the dentist the next day. He said he'd never seen a worse job. They didn't even fit my mouth. There was gaps, they were hanging off my gums.
And that side there is in, this side isn't. Look. I'm not happy at all. Like, it's not even alright, like.
It was just horrendous. He had told me he would refer me to the School of Dentistry in Northern Ireland. I do not fix field cosmetic dental work abroad. I was searching everywhere that I could possibly think of, contacting all private clinics. I just even was looking for somebody who was willing to remove the teeth. I just wanted them off and my own teeth pulled, just wanted the pain to stop. So I took to TikTok in order to share my experience.
So basically, I'm only out of my dentist and knew that I got a bad job, but it's going to cost me £18,000, maybe more, to get my mouth fixed. The damage that they've done is so bad, the teeth aren't even in right, it's just brutal. Honestly, please, if anybody else thinks of going there, don't.
When I saw the desperate situation you were in, it was really, really important to intervene and help you. She couldn't clean between the crowns because they were all joined together. What we saw underneath was shocking. Some of them were already experiencing reinfections. She was getting bleeding and inflammation, and also experiencing bite problems because the bite had been done improperly. She couldn't chew properly and she couldn't eat, and had also lost a lot of weight. The process to fix this all started, and it involved 6 dentists, 60 hours in the chair, and lots of different factors.
I don't understand why our government aren't putting more laws down. There was like 23 people from like Ireland and UK who had actually lost their lives from dental tourism. You know, I nearly became one of the numbers. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. I do have the strength to speak out, to raise awareness on dental tourism and to prevent the same suffering happening to somebody else. My message to the world would be that no smile is worth nearly dying for, no trends worth following to be left in life-threatening situations. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Please do not do this to your teeth. I didn't get to examine this patient in person, but from a quick glance, it looks like his smile wasn't that bad. Yet it appears that his teeth were aggressively cut down for crowns. He looks very young, and if he had been seen by a conservative dentist focused on preserving tooth structure like me, there likely would have been far less reduction needed, or a more conservative option could have been considered. Cosmetic dentistry should always aim to save as much tooth structure as possible. It's also much safer to have dental work done in your home country, where your dentist can properly monitor, manage, and follow up with you long term. I've treated multiple patients who had work done in Turkey and Colombia that later had to be redone. Please protect your natural teeth. Once you alter them, there's no going back.
I'm sorry to say, I think that it is still a trend. I'm hoping that it won't be around for too much longer. I mean, there's some dentists who may even be strategizing their business now to deal with all the catastrophic failures. They'll do well from that. For me, I just would rather the public health message be that it's not good for you. There is nothing really good about it. I can't think of any positives, to be honest. I mean, you might get the isolated case where 3, 4, 5 years down the line, they're managing, despite maybe a few complications. But you know, these patients, it's lifelong dentistry that we plan every time they come to see. We see a new patient. I'm not just planning the first 5 years or 10 years. You know, in a 25-year-old, I'm planning 70 years of dentistry, and we'll do it step by step. You know, I think it's important that it's not just the quickest, cheapest fix.
Yeah, I think that there is like a kind of upward trend with it, but people are becoming more aware now that there is a lot of problems coming from there, and it's not all just sunshine and rainbows. Of course, you get those people that just feel like they want to prioritize the cost, and they say that they're really happy with it, but the reality is we see, you know, thousands of people a year, hundreds of them we turn away, and we just say, you know, we don't really want to get involved with treatment that's been done abroad, and then people don't know about those ones, and but we hear about them all the time because it's obviously our job in our daily life.
Yeah. And also, one thing that can be really toxic is when a lot of influencers are getting paid, or they're paying nothing. They'll get the treatment done for free. They'll turn up and have the treatment, and despite problems and issues they've been having, they're not obliged to tell anyone because they've been sponsored to have the treatment. They've had this all paid for.
Signed like a NDA.
Yeah, the old non-disclosure agreement,
Yeah.
I know you're all looking to go to Turkey to get your teeth done, and this video isn't to stop you from going. It's the things that you might want to look out for if you want to go. My name's Dr. Rona, I'm a dentist. So firstly, I want to caveat that Turkey is a country that has incredibly talented dentists, doctors and professionals, and like any country, there is good and there is bad. However, if dental practices are offering you a consultation online and straight away booking your treatment without seeing you first, this is a red flag. They should be able to do assessments in person, and teeth are hugely complex, so please look out for this. Another thing that you might want to look out for is whether they're giving you options that go beyond just 24 crowns, or what they would call veneers. Ask them how much they prepare the teeth. Ask for photos. So if you want to see any photos of teeth that are being prepared, if they're truly veneers, the front surface of the tooth is cut and not the whole way around the tooth. If you are under the age of 40, 50 maybe, and unless you've had a lot of problems with your teeth, if they're recommending 24 crowns on teeth just to change the colour of your teeth, that's a red flag. I do think also another red flag is including airport transfers and hotels. I feel that this is something to sweeten the deal, but at the end of the day, you're going to a healthcare professional's premises to get work done. So I would take this with a pinch of salt and not let it sway you into going because you think, oh, well, why not? I'm getting a free hotel transfer. In fact, some of these people that have been getting these have also come out with a plethora of problems. Another thing that I would ask is whether you're going to have temporary teeth in the interim. I've seen some videos of people that don't have temporaries put in because they claim they don't have to have temporaries in, and that's not true. Unless there's very minimal prep or non-prep veneers, you have to have temporary teeth because it's really sensitive. Bacteria can get in and it can cause all sorts of problems. Another thing that I would also check is if they've got buy one get one free or free root canals or any other kind of free treatments chucked into the treatment. These treatments are separate entities and is usually not a good sign. It's definitely worth researching that further. And lastly, one thing that I want to make you aware of is that if something is completed in like 2 hours from start to finish, this is probably not a good sign, especially getting a whole mouth of crowns or veneers. veneers. It usually takes me about 4 hours to just do 6 to 8 upper teeth, for example, and that's because I'm very precise with how I'm doing it. Again, there's lots of dentists that practice minimally invasive and minimal prep techniques, but it's important that you ask these questions to ensure that you are getting the treatment that you deserve.
That brings us to the part of the video where we need to talk properly. So why does this keep happening? Here is the honest truth. Turkey is not a country without good dentists. There are genuinely skilled dental professionals there. The problem is the system that has built up around dental tourism and the way it specifically targets people who are price sensitive, appearance conscious, and trusting. The average cost of a full set of crowns or veneers in the UK can run anywhere from £8,000 to £20,000 or more. In Turkey, the same procedure is marketed for a fraction of that, sometimes as low as £2,000 to £3,000, often with hotel stays and airport transfers thrown in. On paper, it sounds like a deal that's too good to pass up. But here's what the brochure doesn't tell you. When a dentist prepares your teeth for crowns, they're filing down your natural tooth structure to create a peg that the crown sits on. That process is irreversible. Once your healthy tooth has been shaved down, there is no going back. You are now dependent on whatever artificial covering is placed on top of it for the rest of your life. A responsible dentist will only go that route when it is genuinely necessary, when a tooth is already damaged, decayed, and structurally compromised. Several people in these clips had perfectly healthy teeth before they went. Young people in their 20s, people who just wanted whiter, straighter teeth, and they were put in the chair, drilled down, and sent home with a smile that looked good in photos and was quietly destroying their mouths underneath. One dentist in the clips put it plainly. When she treats a 25-year-old, she is not planning 5 years of dentistry, she is planning 70. That long-term thinking is what separates someone who genuinely has your dental health at heart from someone who's trying to move as many patients through a chair as possible in a week. The influencer effect is one of the more uncomfortable parts of the conversation, but it needs to be said. A significant number of people who book dental work in Turkey do so after watching influencers show off their results online. Glowing reviews, before and after photos, confident endorsements from people they follow and trust. What many viewers don't know is that a large portion of those influencers received their treatment for free in exchange for promotion, and in many cases, they signed NDA agreements as part of that deal, meaning even if something went wrong, they were contractually unable to say so. Think about what that means. You are watching someone tell you a clinic is great, not knowing that they cannot legally tell you if it isn't. The 5-star reviews you see on Google and TripAdvisor, multiple people in these clips describe clinics that actively delete negative reviews, pressure patients to remove them, and in at least one case offered to fix problems only after the bad review was taken down fast. The picture you are seeing of these clinics online is in many cases a curated fiction. Here's another thing nobody tells you before you book. If something goes wrong abroad, your legal options are almost non-existent. In the UK, if a dentist causes harm through negligence, there are clear regulatory bodies, complaint processes, and legal routes available to you. Abroad, particularly in Turkey, patients have repeatedly described being threatened with lawsuits for leaving honest reviews. One woman in these clips received legal threats for simply wanting to share her experience. Others described being told to remove Trustpilot reviews before the clinic would agree to see them again. One clinic in the clips reportedly had over 200 open cases against its owner in another region of Turkey and had simply moved cities and started again. When something goes wrong at home, you have recourse. When something goes wrong abroad, you are largely on your own. And let's talk money, because that's actually the main reason people go. After everything falls apart, the cost of fixing dental work done abroad is almost always far higher than it would have been to get it done properly at home in the first place. £18,000 was quoted by one woman just to begin correcting the damage. Another lost £5,500 and still doesn't have what she was promised. Others have spent years going back and forth, paying for flights, hotels, and repeat procedures, while still ending up worse off than when they started. And that's before you factor in the cost that can't be measured in money. Lost weight because you can't eat properly, anxiety, chronic pain, sleepless nights. One woman described lying awake at night in agony from exposed nerves, taking painkillers just to get through the day. Another saying getting crowns was, without hesitation, the worst decision of her entire life, and that it had ruined everything. These are not dramatic exaggerations. These are people describing permanent, life-altering consequences from a decision they made in a matter of weeks. If you are considering going abroad for dental work, or you know someone who is, here is what the professionals say to look out for, drawn directly from the clips you just watched. 1. Responsible dental work requires an in-person assessment. Teeth are complex. If a clinic is quoting you a treatment plan and taking deposits without even physically examining your mouth, walk away. 2. If you are under 40 or 50, have reasonable healthy teeth, and just want cosmetic improvements, there is almost never a reason to get 20 plus crowns. The more conservative the approach, composite bonding, minimal prep veneers, whitening, the more seriously the dentist is taking your long-term dental health. Number 3. After your natural teeth are filed down, you need temporary crowns while the permanent ones are made. If a clinic says you don't need them or rush you through without them, bacteria can get into exposed tissue immediately, and this is how infections start. Number 4. Root canals are significant separate procedures. They should never be thrown in as a freebie. If a clinic is bundling them in, it means they are either expecting to do a lot of them or they are padding out the package to make the deal look more attractive. Also, a full mouth of crowns or veneers done properly takes many hours, sometimes multiple days across several appointments. If your entire treatment is completed in an afternoon, precision has been sacrificed somewhere. And lastly, no legitimate healthcare provider asks you to sign away your right to share your experience. If there is a clause in any agreement that restricts what you can say publicly, that clinic already knows what kind of reviews it would otherwise receive. And I have to be clear, none of this is to say that everyone who goes to Turkey for dental work has a bad experience. Some people do come back happy, at least initially, and not every clinic operating there is dishonest or incompetent. But the pattern across these clips and across the wider conversation happening online is too consistent to ignore. Patients being misled about what treatment they are getting, healthy teeth being aggressively cut down when less invasive options existed, problems emerging weeks or months later that clinics refuse to take responsibility for, and ordinary people left to absorb costs, financial, physical, emotional, that they were never warned about. The dental tourism industry, as it currently operates in many parts of Turkey, is built on two things: the gap between what dental care costs here and there, and the gap between what patients are shown online and what actually happens when they arrive. Close either of those gaps with better information, and the whole thing starts to unravel. That's exactly what videos like the ones you've watched today are doing.
Right guys, I'm on a boat in Egypt, yeah. And I'm really scared because the Somali pirates. Look at this.
This is a good lesson for everybody else why you don't go get cheap turkey teeth or kind of veneers in certain places, because unfortunately sometimes they can end up looking like this. And we actually just made a video earlier about how natural veneers look amazing and they look really good, but the problem is when you go to somebody who does not know how to do natural veneers and they end up doing what we call unnatural veneers. Now the hallmarks of this is that they're big and they're bulky and they're wide and they look kind of like chiclets, like if you just put a bunch of chiclets in your mouth. And they're always toilet bowl white, which if you don't know, toilet bowl white looks very unnatural and makes them look even worse. And the sad part was this guy probably didn't even need any of this. He probably just needed some light Invisalign or braces and a little bit of teeth whitening. But instead he got talked into probably going to Turkey and getting his whole entire front done, and they just went and shaved off and ruined every single tooth he had and put these monstrosities on there.
If you've made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Creators' handles are in the description box below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.